I spent 10 minutes in a customer's shed this morning counting bottles on a shelf. 11 of them. Maybe 3 were doing anything. The rest got bought during a bad week, when the water looked wrong and somebody had an answer ready at a counter. That shelf is this video. 10 pool products that are a complete waste of money, counted down from 10 to 1, with what to do instead and what it saves you across a season. Quick word on who's talking. I'm Dave, 25 years running pools around the St. Louis Metro, eastern Missouri, and southwestern Illinois, and I was on a job this morning. I'm not a homeowner who finally figured it out. I'm the guy who's watched about 1,000 customers buy these same 10 things, and I've been saying the same sentences at the equipment pad the whole time. One thing before we start counting. Number 1 on this list isn't a product at all. It's a check that takes 60 seconds, and it's what I do at every stop before I touch anything on the pool. Once you're doing it, most of the 9 items underneath it stop being decisions you have to make. It's the one item on the list that pays for the other 9. Number 10 is Clarifier, the bottle you grab when the water goes cloudy. $18 to $24 a quart, and most people buy 2 a season. It's a polymer that charges suspended particles so they clump big enough for the filter to catch. The filter does the work. Cloudy is a flow problem or a chemistry problem, not a missing ingredient. A clean filter with runtime clears that water for nothing. Cloudy call in June. 3 empty bottles by the equipment, gauge 12 pounds over baseline. Cleaned the filter. Cleared by the next afternoon. 25 years on pools, and I've never once bought that. Brush everything, check the gauge against your clean number, service the filter, then wait a day. Cloudy water is a safety issue, not a looks issue. If you can't see the bottom drain, nobody swims. Cartridge owners, pull the element and rinse it instead. Free chlorine and pH stay in range the whole time. Overdose it and the polymer blinds the filter and the water comes back worse. $35 to $50 a season, plus a service you needed anyway. Number 9 sells the same way. Number 9 is Weekly Preventative Algicide, $15 to $22 a quart, dosed every week. Most are quats, surfactants that break down algae cell walls. Free chlorine held in range is what actually kills algae. Every day, for nothing. You're paying weekly for insurance against a number you could just hold. Algicide is what you buy when the sanitizer slipped, not what stops the slip. Every July, first hot stretch, same customers, same green tint, same shelf. The pools that stay clear are the ones whose chlorine never dropped for 4 days. Hold free chlorine between 2 and 4 parts per million. Stabilizer between 30 and 50, tested twice a week. Keep 1 bottle for an actual bloom, not for a schedule. That only works if chlorine and pH stay in range, so if you can't test twice a week, don't cut it. Copper versions are a different product with a staining risk. Overdose a quat and it foams, a column of suds off the return that looks like a pump fault. $60 to $90 a season. Number 8 is the same trick, better packaging. Number 8 is the shock packet sold by the treatment, $7 to $9 a bag, about triple the per-pound cost of bulk. Shock isn't a chemical, it's a dose. Chlorine high enough to burn through the used-up chlorine already in your water. You don't need a weekly bag. You need enough chlorine once when the test says so. A man at the supply house asked what was in those packets and got told it's the professional strength. Same product sat on the pallet behind him at 10 times the weight. You're not buying a chemical. You're buying a smaller container. Test your combined chlorine, dose once at dusk to 10 times any reading over half a part per million, and buy in bulk. Cal Hypo, the granular kind, is corrosive. Gloves, eye protection, open air, product into water, and never the reverse. Poured near a return with the pump running. Nobody swims until free chlorine is back under 4. Weekly Cal Hypo drives calcium up all season, and scale on a heater is a call to your service company. $80 to $120 a season. All of it starts with a reading somebody trusted. Let me step off the countdown for a second, because there's one number worth sitting on. A gallon of liquid chlorine, a bag of Cal Hypo, and a bucket of tabs all deliver the same active ingredient. And the price per pound of actual chlorine between them is wildly different. I've never seen a pool respond to which one it got. What it responds to is how much went in and when, which means every dollar on this list traces back to a number somebody read wrong, and the next three items are the ones that read them wrong for you. Number 7 is test strips as your only test. $12 to $18 for 50, $30 to $50 a season. A strip is you matching a color against a printed chart, in whatever light you're standing in, on a pad that keeps changing. You're paying a subscription for a reading that says something's off and never says how much to add. A customer of mine tested every morning, strips reading her chlorine high all week. Drop kit said 0. The strip had saturated and gone pale. She'd been doing everything right on bad information. I'd rather you put that money into a decent test kit. Buy one drop-based kit, $60 to $90 once, and replace reagents every year. Keep strips for a rough look, never for dosing. A drop kit only reads true with in-date reagents kept out of the sun, so write the date on the bottles. The failure is adding nothing all week because the strip says you're covered, then opening the cover to a green pool. $30 to $50 a year, plus every bottle bought for a problem you didn't have. From here down, nothing has a price tag. Number 6 is backwashing on a calendar. Everyone sends 300 to 500 gallons of treated water down the line at $5 to $8 a thousand, plus chemicals to rebalance. A sand bed filters finer once it's slightly loaded because the trapped dirt does half the filtering. Backwashing resets it coarser. The gauge tells you when it's time. The calendar never does. So you're dumping treated water to make the filter worse at its job. Found a pad where the filter handle was worn shiny and the gauge had been dead 2 seasons. He backwashed every Saturday because that's what Saturday was for. Write your clean pressure on the housing in marker. Backwash at 8 to 10 pounds over it, then rinse. Sand only. Cartridge filters never get backwashed. On DE, you recharge with the correct weight after every backwash, or the grids run bare. Free chlorine and pH get retested after any big refill. A bed that never matures passes fines straight through, and out in the well-water counties, every refill brings in hardness and iron. $50 to $80 a season. Number 5 costs you everything you're pouring in. Number 5 is running the pump 3 or 4 hours a day to save on the bill. It's passed around as an energy tip, right before the upsell for the algae it causes. $40 to $60 a month in extra shock. One turnover means the whole pool has passed the filter once. Under 4 hours, the shaded corner is a separate pool with its own chemistry. You save on the meter and pay at the counter. Green in one deep-end corner, clear everywhere else. Timer set for 3 hours. Run a full turnover daily, 8 to 10 hours on a single speed pump, and aim your return jets at the far corner. If your pump has speed settings, run longer hours at a lower speed. Never dose with the pump off. It sits in a layer and burns liner, and until it's running, nobody swims and nothing goes in. Timer and breaker work is an electrician's job. Otherwise, the surface test's perfect and the bottom third is untreated. $150 to $250 a season in chemicals. Number 4 is all of it at once. Stop the video for a second and go count. Clarifier, Algicide, shock packets, strips. How many of those 10 items are sitting in your shed or your garage right now? Every one of them made sense the day it was bought. My honest guess for the average customer I walk past is 6. Put your number in the comments because I read them, and the number people report is always higher than they expected before they went and looked. The last 4 aren't things you bought. They're the reasons you bought them. Number 4 is adding 4 products the same afternoon, all of it down the skimmer. It comes off the counter as a printout, $50 to $70 a basket, 2 or 3 times a summer. Total alkalinity is the buffer holding your pH steady. Set it first, and pH mostly follows. Most of that basket is correcting something the last product caused. A customer kept a spiral notebook of everything the counter told her. 12 products in 6 weeks and her pH still drifting. Nothing in that book was crazy, it just never let the water settle. Set total alkalinity between 80 and 120 first, wait one full pass through the filter, retest, then bring pH to 7.4. Never combine chlorine products with each other, and never combine any chlorine product with any acid. Not in a bucket, not in a scoop, not anywhere. Muriatic acid means gloves, eye protection, open air, acid into water and never the reverse, poured near a return with the pump running. Overshoot and pH drops below 7, burning eyes, etched surfaces, corroded fittings. $100 to $150 a season in corrective products. Top 3 now. Number 3 is not knowing your sun protection number accumulates. Nobody sells you this one. It arrives free inside every stabilized tab, and tabs run 90 to 140 a season. Cyanuric acid is sunscreen for chlorine. It doesn't burn off and nothing consumes it. It stays. Every tab adds more, and by August, the water holds chlorine so tightly it can't do much. You're paying full price for a fraction of the work. Late August, every year, same call. Chlorine reads fine, pool still dull, tabs in the floater since May. This is the part nobody explains at the counter. Test cyanuric acid monthly and keep it between 30 and 50. Above 100, only dilution brings it down. Swap out water and run unstabilized chlorine. While you're diluting, free chlorine and pH stay in range, and you test after refilling. Out in the well water counties, refill water comes in hard, so retest hardness. Let it go far enough, and the only fix is replacing a third of the water. $80 to $120 in chlorine that never worked. One more number decides how hard your chlorine hits. Number 2 is not knowing that pH decides how strong your chlorine is. It shows up as repeat shock, 2 or 3 treatments a month at $10 to $15. Free chlorine exists in 2 forms, and only one is the fast killer. pH decides the split. Shocking a high pool is buying more of what you already disabled. I heard a man sold a second bag of shock for a pool that wouldn't clear. Nobody asked his pH. Fix the number underneath it, and the problem goes away on its own. Correct pH to 7.4 before you add chlorine, not after. At 7.5, half to 60% of your free chlorine is working, and at 8, it's closer to 20. Lowering it with acid means gloves, eye protection, open air, acid into water, and never the reverse, near a return with the pump running. High pH also scales the water, and if it clouds up, nobody swims until it clears. Otherwise, you shock twice for nothing, 60 to 100 a season, on treatments disabled on arrival. Which brings us to number 1, and you can't buy it. Number 1 is testing before you buy anything, dosing to a number instead of a symptom. Nobody makes money on this one, which is why nobody mentions it. Every item above got bought in response to something somebody saw. Water gives you 4 numbers, and every symptom you've had is one of them out of position. The habit isn't what's unnecessary. The purchases are. Once you're dosing to a reading, most of that shelf has no job. It's what I do at every stop before I touch anything. Kit out, 4 readings, 60 seconds. I haven't diagnosed a pool by looking at it in 20 years. Your water doesn't read labels, it reads numbers. 4 readings before any purchase. Free chlorine, pH, total alkalinity, and the sun protection number. Twice a week in season. Then decide whether you've got a problem worth spending on. Testing replaces guessing, not sanitizing, so chlorine and pH still have to be held in range every week. If a number's way out and you don't know why, call a service company. Without it, you stack 3 products in a week and never learn which one worked. $300 to $600 a season across the shelf. So that's the 60-second check. 4 numbers before a single dollar. It's number 1 because it's the only item on this list that makes the other 9 optional. And here's the part I want you to take away from all of it. You're not bad at this, and you didn't get conned. You got sold products against symptoms, one bad week at a time, by people answering the exact question you asked them. Ask the water instead. It'll answer you in numbers, and numbers only ever ask you to buy one thing at a time, and plenty of weeks they'll ask you to buy nothing at all. Whatever number you put in the comments a few minutes ago, go back out to the shed, pick up the 3 at the front, and read the labels again now that you know what those products actually do. Some of them you'll keep. Most of them you'll stop replacing. Next one is don't buy these 7 pool chemicals, only 3 are actually necessary. The 3 that stay are the ones I carry in my own truck, and I'll tell you what I pay for them. I've got a pool to look at in Waterloo in the morning. Go test yours.